Hey everyone, thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. As you guys can see, I am behind the wheel, and that's something that happens quite a bit. As pro fishermen, we travel all over the country to lakes, locally around the house, or within our same state, or to destinations on the tournament trail, and even to promotions and different things like that, sponsor obligations, and just so many different things like that. So we spend just a lot of time behind the wheel. With that, I wanted to start a new segment or playlist that I'd like to call Windshield Time. We can talk about all kinds of different things. So I want to kind of open this up to you guys, to everybody, which also takes me into the next thing, and that's I want to thank everyone for watching my videos and for commenting and for sharing your experiences and just this social thing that we're able to do with today's technology, and share the same passion for the outdoors and fishing and different things like that. So thank you. This is kind of a little celebration video at the same time, and that's I have hit over 2,000 subscribers. It's been a slow go, but we're there, and it's continuing to grow, and I'm trying to be as patient as I can with this whole process, but I'm enjoying it too. So with that, I want to thank everybody, all the subscribers and all the viewers of all of my different videos and different things like that, your comments and the communication and different things like that. Thank you. Let's just get right into it. Windshield time. I thought initially for this video we could open up a topic that a lot of people ask about what it takes, what's the mindset, what do you do to locate fish on tournament destinations or bodies of water that you don't fish a lot, or maybe bodies of water you've never been to or have limited amount of experience. Some of the tournament destinations we go to, like let's just say Lake Champlain, we don't go there every year. We don't go to Okeechobee every year. So it might be a year or 2 or 3 or even more years between the times that we go. And while we've had the historical experience from being there in the past, a lot of times things change so much. So even though we've been there, we kind of have a lay of the land, there's the whole process of trying to figure out what the fish are doing. And that's kind of what I want to open up this first segment of Windshield Time to, is just some things. I want to talk about 3 different things that I do to help me locate fish on a body of water that I'm not as familiar with, or that's new to me, or I've never been to, or I've been to before, but it's been a long time. Regardless, fish change even on your home body of water, and this process will apply to a lake that you've fished 1,000 times or just once. I'm going to give you 3 things that I think are really key to finding fish. It gives the backdrop or the framework or the grid in which I see the lake through, and that's number 1 is I always want to be thinking about seasonal patterns. What stage, what season are the fish in, and what within that there's subcategories. So you might have a winter pattern, a winter seasonal pattern, right? But as you go into late winter, that turns into kind of pre-spawn, the beginning of pre-spawn. Those kind of 2 overlap, or they go hand in hand. Late winter turns into pre-spawn. Pre-spawn turns into spawn. And then from spawn, you go into post-spawn. And those 3 seasons would be spring. And then you go into the summer. And as a whole, you have summer being early summer, and then you have early summer, then summer, and then you go into late summer, which also begins the early fall pattern. So your seasonal patterns, and then you can break it down a step further. The spawn, so fish are spawning, but they're not all doing that at the same time on any given body of water. But then you move into post-spawn into early summer, and then you have, once you come out of the post-spawn and into early summer, you have some fish that are going to go right out to offshore structure, humps, points, islands, different offshore structure like that. And then you have some fish that are going to stay shallow. Some fish are going to take advantage of the fact that there's bluegill starting to spawn, or bed, and then there's the shad spawn. So there's a lot of different things that are happening there that can keep a group of fish shallow, and then another group of fish will go deep. depending upon where in the lake. So that's going to vary from lake to lake, and then from one end of the lake to the other. So those are different things that, as you can see, I'm kind of piecing together some thought process on what the lake might be doing, and a lot of that's temperature related, but it varies geographically where you are in the country. So that's kind of the thing I want to think about. I want to try to get a grasp of what the fish are doing. Are they in a heavy summer pattern, in which case offshore is going to be really strong, but if you're in a lake with a lot of grass or weeds or vegetation, there's going to be a bunch of fish or a group of fish that are going to stay shallow. Shallow fish are always going to be there year round. And then there's periods where the deeper fish are going to be a more productive or more sustainable, because they're out there in larger numbers. Like just say in the summertime, there's going to be a larger group of fish that are going to move offshore structure, ledges, points, humps, those types of things. Then there are going to be shallow, because not everywhere in the shallows does it have the right amount of habitat and prey items to sustain fish in the shallow water. On top of that, there's going to be a smaller number of them. Different things to take into consideration. So that's number one, kind of in a nutshell. And again, I'm not going to just exhaust these topics or these points, but I want to open it up so that if you guys have some questions about it, I can address it in the next windshield time. So number two, but also closely related, is the type of water that I'm fishing. Am I fishing a natural lake like an Okeechobee or like a Champlain? Am I fishing a tidal river like the Atchafalaya Basin in Louisiana, or maybe we're talking about Sabine River in South Texas / Louisiana, or maybe we're talking about the Potomac River? So natural lake, we're talking about tidal rivers or tidal influenced bodies of water. Then we're talking about reservoirs, and into that we go into subcategories of that, or different categories within the reservoirs. You have highland impoundments, canyon style reservoirs, and you have lowland impoundments. So a canyon style or a highland impoundment would be like a Table Rock or a Bull Shoals or a Cumberland, those types of places. And then a lowland impoundment would be like a Gunnersville or a Sam Rayburn or a Seminole. So just to give you some ideas. And then we're going to go into the next one, which is rivers. So you have, again, you have natural lakes, tidal fisheries or tidal influence fisheries, and then you have your reservoirs, and then the subcategories within that, and then we go into rivers. So I want to think about those different things, and fish will react in one of those different types of bodies of water, and we can go into that in more detail in another video. But they'll react and move and adjust and do different things based on which body of water they're in, and even geographically in the country. So some different things to kind of chew on there. And then the last thing, which is really important, is what species of bass am I going to target? Some places your largemouth are going to be the most prolific. Like your southern states, largemouth in a lot of places are prolific. But places like Lanier and Hartwell,
turn left on County Road P73.
Your spotted bass are going to be more prolific, and they're going to be even some of the bigger variety, because what you end up having is you have blueback herring, which are a tremendous prey item for those spotted bass, and they have really gotten a lot bigger over the years. So largemouth, spotted bass, and then smallmouth. Some of our highland impoundments have great smallmouth fisheries, and even some places in the south you have like a Texoma, where the smallmouth will actually be the predominant species, because they bite more, they react better in different conditions and different things like that. So whether it's a smallmouth, a largemouth, or a spotted bass, those are the things. That's the final point. That's the third point that I want to talk about. Kind of point me in the direction of where I'm going to look for those fish. But they'll relate different. Spotted bass like to suspend a bunch. Smallmouth like to move a bunch. Largemouth are homebodies. Largemouth like weeds. Smallmouth and spotted bass like rock. So just some different characteristics within each species of bass that I take into consideration. And then I would look at different places, like spotted bass love verts or vertical areas or bluffs or stuff like that. The largemouth do too, but spots do like vertical areas. Smallmouths do also, which is another example of them utilizing the same type of habitat or same type of structures. Some like them a little bit better than others. Smallmouth love pea gravel, especially around the pre-spawn and into the spawn. So just different things like that. Those are things I take into consideration, but that just opens up this can of worms on how to locate and catch fish and things to take into consideration. At least 3 points to kind of get the ball rolling. This will be a great first segment for Windshield Time. So go ahead and shoot your questions over to me. We'll kind of go into these points and maybe I can develop them a little bit further. But I'd love to hear from you guys, love to hear your comments, and hopefully I can just shed more light on the fish locating process. And we can go even deeper in another video. But again, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for commenting, for watching the videos. Hope you like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and good fishing.